First of all, what could have fixed this show? Okay, I need to preface this by saying that I used to be in the fandom and then stepped away from the fandom because, the new seasons weren't coming out. I think I got through like half of season 6 before the rest of it hadn't come out yet. And then I was like, I'll just wait for the rest of it to come out. That way I can watch it all in like one fell swoop because I'm that type of person. And then I just never picked it back up. Okay, season 7 and 8 have come out. Honestly, I think it might have finished by now. I'm not sure. But season 6 made me so. I honestly read the manga before the rest of season 6 came out. I bought it in Japanese and I read it through Google Translate because I was like, I need to know what happens. And it made me so irrationally angry that I need to talk to you about it because there is no way on earth that this actually exists like this. Like, I am so confused. I'm so confused. The first few seasons were good, okay? I do need to preface again by saying that if you're one of those fans that's gonna attack me for not shipping certain people or is gonna attack me because I don't ship people at all, because mind you, even though they're characters, they are minors. They are children. Why are you shipping children? You can go ahead and go, because I'm not on your side. Secondly, if you're one of those fans that's really, really passionate about this and can see no wrong with this show whatsoever, I'm not on your side either. And you should probably also go, because I have no room to argue, okay? Because I am upset. And we're talking about this is about me. This isn't about you and your feelings. This is about me. I don't remember everybody's names. I don't, to be honest. I don't remember the names of the cities and the names of the places. So the most you're going to get from me is I'm going to describe them as best as I can, using as little information as I have and remember, okay? I liked seasons 1, 2, and 3, I believe, of this show. I did. I liked them all, for the most part. That's why I was watching them. That's kind of how that works. But at some point, it got very repetitive for, every single, arc. Every single arc was so repetitive. But then also, what are the laws? Tell me, quickly, what are the laws in this world? Because I don't know if there are any. Because how are you going to tell me that you can send out 20 to 40, depending on if both Class A and Class B are, together. Tell me how you can send out at least 20 15-year-olds to go deal with literal war. Because they are literally in war. War is a reoccurring conflict. And they have been reoccurringly conflicting with the League of Villains since the beginning of the show. Okay, it's not just one-off battle. It is a literal war that they are sending these children out to. Okay, that was my entire issue with season 6. That and people kept dying in season 6. And I was like, how are you gonna flip up so quick? You just decided suddenly that you're okay with killing people? Everyone just suddenly lost their plot armor? That's another issue but literal war, okay? I'm pretty sure that there was a movie that came out before season 6. Pretty sure there was. I'm not sure how much of it I've actually made up, or how much of it, because I don't know if I saw the entire thing or if I watched it on clips on TikTok. I don't actually remember. But from what I do remember, they sent out the children, the first years. They sent out the babies with the heroes that they were doing their work study with to go fight an international global terrorist group. You're sending 15-year-olds out to deal with global terrorists who are trying to eradicate quirks. When in the history of humanity, I get so irrationally angry when I'm talking about this because it makes no sense. I am one of those people that needs everything to make sense. I do not believe that these characters actually exist because after season 3, maybe, you stop getting any sort of character development whatsoever. Season 1 was kind of the arc where we were learning about everybody. You know, Shoto was dealing with his trauma because of his dad. I think that might have been during season 2 even, with like when they had that like first year's battle. I don't remember what that was called. When everyone was like fighting, like that might have been season 1. I don't know, when all the first years were fighting to get for their, you got Shoto's trauma with his dad, and then you got the fact that during season 1 Midoriya had to learn to adapt to his quirk, and like that was kind of his arc, was learning how to deal with like all these new powers and stuff. And then you had like the conflict with Bakugo and everything. Like everyone was kind of having their own little mini arcs and like characters, and then after that it sort of just like stopped. Like everyone just kind of froze at where they were, and there was no more like development, like with the characters. Like Eri shows up, Eri, like the little girl, like she shows up, and then everyone just kind of like stops being a character. Like they all just become so stupid. I understand that you need. I don't understand because in season 6, when the heroes are battling Shigaraki, you know, the giant climax of your arc, you know, when they are battling Shigaraki because he has taken over this other, like, combined the League of Villains with this other group to make whatever that was. Like I said, I don't remember the names of things. I just remember how angry it made me. When he is doing all that, the heroes take their work-study students, they take the children with them to go battle Shigaraki and all of his villains. They take the children with them. Why? Who in their right mind comes up with that sort of stuff? I understand that like the Hero Commission or whoever like Hawks works for, I understand that they have a lot of sway, you know, because I'm pretty sure it's the Hero Commission that sends out a whole bunch of their agencies to other places globally to help them when they are in need or have like conflict and stuff. So I understand that like sometimes the heroes can't actually do anything about what they're doing and they just need, but who have these children and their parents signed contracts with UA? Have they signed a contract saying that if your child dies, we are not liable? Because technically we didn't think that whatever situation we were taking them into would be dangerous. Did they sign contracts? What are the laws for this? What are the child labor laws in Japan for this? Because I'm assuming that a child who is in school cannot work more than like 12 hours a week. That's what I'm assuming, because that's what makes sense to me. If you are full-time at school, you cannot be part of your work study. You cannot do more work study than 12 hours a week. I would love to know legally what the rules are, and if all of these children and their families can sue not only UA, but the Hero Commission for all of this like stuff that's happening to them, because it's not mild stuff. Like I said, they were sending these children to war. People are dying. What would have made more sense for season 6 is because we saw the Nomu versus Endeavor battle. That might have been end of season 4, beginning of season 5, or something like that. We saw that battle where all the students at UA were just watching it happen as a third party. Logically, that makes sense. Okay, so why they couldn't do that with this season 6 battle where literally everyone is dying, why they couldn't do that too and tell the students to stay at the agencies and simply watch versus take them to the battlefield and have people, like, have a whole bunch of them get injured and a whole bunch of people die. I don't understand. What would have made sense is because we already know that because Deku is our main character, he he can't take no for an answer. That's just like the thing that happens with main characters, is that they do not listen and they do not get in trouble, okay? How none of these kids have been expelled is beyond me as well. If that is not plot armor, I don't know what is, okay? Because none of these kids have been expelled for literally all the rules that they've broken and how much danger they've put their fellow classmates in. Why? Because there are students within Class 1A that obviously have brains, okay? They obviously know what they're doing. And when they are told, stay here, it's dangerous, they stay there because it's dangerous. But then you have the characters like Bakugo, Midoriya, and Todoroki who are like, you can't tell me what to do. Why? Why is that a personality trait that they have? Who knows? Why out of all people is Midoriya the one to break rules? I don't feel like that's a character trait that he has, mostly because he has not had powers for the majority of his life. So when a hero tells him to run from danger, in my mind, it would be a gut reaction for him to obey because he has not had powers the majority of his life. Mind you, this entire show, this entire manga, the entire thing of this entire thing has taken place over a school year. They are still first years. I'm pretty sure, by like from the beginning to the end of this entire thing. So not only have they dealt with conflicts. Not only have they dealt with global conflicts multiple times within a school year, they have been to war and fought in battles way bigger than their scope multiple times. And none of them seem to have any trauma or seem to have learned anything from any of it. If I accidentally ended up in the Shiseikai, where they find Eri, that arc, the Eri arc, if I ended up in that accidentally, because I don't think they expected it to go as awry as it did. So if I ended up there accidentally and later my teachers were like, you can come with us to this giant battle against Shigaraki where he has leveled an entire city, you should come with us. It'll be a great learning opportunity. I think I'd be sitting there thinking that these people have lost their gosh dang minds. Because why are you putting me in danger like that? Is it just me? Am I the only one with any sort of you're not the cameraman. Your plot armor will wear out. The other issue with these characters is they're all their own sort of Mary Sues. After the point where they no longer have any sort of arcs within their characters, they're all Mary Sues. They all can do no wrong, which is why none of them have been expelled. They all know how to use their powers perfectly. Obviously, there has to be some learning, but once you get past the first couple seasons, they all know exactly how to use all their powers all the times, no matter what. And there's no other kind of you know what I mean? At least up through what I watched in season 6, there was no more growth. After they got their provisional license, after they passed the provisional license exam, there was no more. Does that make sense? Another thing about the provisional license, what are the rules? How young can you be to get a provisional license? Because if you're telling me that you could be 9 years old and just go and do your provisional license exam and pass, you're telling me that they're willing to send 9-year-olds to deal with global terrorism the same way that they are these 15-year-olds? You're telling me that that's a thing that we can do? Because there are no rules. None of the rules and laws are explained to us, at least in a way that I remember. If they were explained to us, I would have remembered. Because I'm just that type of person. I need your world to feel real. I need that from you desperately. I crave it. Because if your world is not real, your characters do not feel real. You can say that I am nitpicking too hard. You can say that. I do not have this same issue with Young Justice. Okay? And you can sit here and compare these two and be like, the kids from Young Justice are pretty much the same age as the kids from UA. Right, exactly. I agree with you. The thing is that the kids from Young Justice, all of them have had 5 to 10 years, give or take, of training each. All of them have grown up with this lifestyle. All of them have mentors that are around them pretty much constantly, okay? Any work that they were sent out to do, they were sent out to do it as recon. It was never supposed to be an actual battle because the people in their lives, the adults in their lives, do not want them hurt or injured because the people in their lives actually care about them. The difference with My Hero Academia is that these adults in their lives, the responsible people in their lives, are constantly finding ways to train them by sending them out in the most dangerous missions possible. And that's the difference between these two is these people, these children have actual training. And these children have been training for a school year, 6 to 8 months. I'm not sure exactly how long the school year is in My Hero Academia, but it's not been a very long time. Compare years to months, and of course I would be upset because these kids don't have any sort of like autonomy whatsoever. Like they are told what to do, when to do it, and they just accept that, except for the times when they go behind everyone's backs and should be expelled but aren't. There are consequences for these children. Okay, there are no consequences here for the kids in My Hero Academia. There are none ever. None of them are ever really suspended or expelled. None of them are threatened. None of them are ever forced to repeat a grade, or none of them are ever failed in any of their classes. There are no consequences for the rules that they break and the actions that they take. Whereas with this, there are consequences because these are treated like real people. It's so irritating to kind of like sit here because I would love to finish My Hero Academia. I just don't know if I could handle the irritation that the lack of logic would give. I would be so irritated watching this because logically none of it makes sense. Why are you continuing to send out the kids to do these like battles when you know that it's putting them in danger? Because that's the reason that they move into the dorms to begin with, is because they're being targeted. You shouldn't have continued to send them out to do these different like work study like missions if you knew it was going to continue to expand the target on their back. I know the first time that the League of Villains came to attack them, it was because All Might was in UA and part of the school, and he was supposed to be at the USJ with the class, but he wasn't. That's why the League of Villains attacked them that first time. After that happened, All Might should have left. He should have gone. He should have said deuces, and he should have stepped away from the kids because he was the reason that they were in danger to begin with. None of this would have happened. A whole bunch of people probably wouldn't have died if you just had one person with any sort of sense say, "Hey, maybe you should go, and maybe we shouldn't be putting these children in danger." It makes no sense to me, and it makes me so exasperated, like irrational. Like oh, I can't even begin. I oh, what could have saved this? Because that was the entire point. Is we were supposed to be talking about what could have saved this. I don't know. I don't know. We needed someone with a quirk whose quirk was logical thinking skills, I think. If we had a superhero who just was logical, I think that would have saved so much time, so much effort. Would it have been a more boring story? Possibly. That's possible. But like at this point, I would much rather watch the students' reactions as like a third party, like have them watching on the TV as this battle against Shigaraki is going on, rather than having them actually be there, because there was no point for them to actually be there. The other thing is that why did all of them have to be there? Why did all of them have to be there? Was it because the author, I'm so sorry, I don't remember his name, is it because he was scared that people would get upset if their favorite characters weren't part of this battle? or is it because he didn't actually know how to finish the battle if like all the characters weren't there? Because all these characters together are super OP, obviously. All these characters kind of like on their own are also super OP, like all the students. And so why did they all have to be there? Are the students more powerful than their like teachers and works? Like, you can't tell me that these adults who have been doing this for decades, who have agencies, you can't tell me that they would not have been able to do this on their own. You cannot convince me that they could not do this, like, do this on their own. You will never convince me of that. I would much rather have watched Midoriya sneak off on his own to help fight because he feels like it's his duty, because he has the power of One for All. I would much rather have watched that than watch all of these first years be a part of this battle and be traumatized because Midnight dies. Like, Midnight dies trying to protect them. They killed their teacher, essentially. You cannot tell me that that was a better storyline than having Deku like run off like on his own without telling anybody to assist these people who he feels indebted to assist because he took the power of All Might. That would have, I think, been much more emotionally sort of like engaging, because then you would be able to see like how much it's sort of affecting him to be like, I have this power. I am not ready to use it, but I need to be able to use it because there are so many people who are like dying for me, and All Might should be here, and he should be the one doing this because he would be able to stop them, and I think that would have been a much more like you wouldn't have only had like the arc in the action, but you would have had like an emotional arc of like Deku as well, and you would have been able to like continue on with his like character, because by the end you would finally be able to see like the character growth of him accepting that he has this power and that All Might chose him for a reason, and he's finally like grown in to his power. And I think that would have been a lot better than having all the characters all the first years be there for no reason. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I just find it very exhausting when stuff like this happens. And so I think the entire thing that could have helped is if the students weren't overpowered. Like, that's the main thing that I think could have helped this entire thing, is if they weren't overpowered. Because like Deku has what, like 7 powers, 8, 9. He has like all the powers of all the previous like wielders. It's like, why did that have to be a thing that happened? It's cool, sure, but you're giving everyone all these OP powers all the time that no one feels OP anymore. The fact that Deku has multiple powers kind of took away from the fact that Todoroki has multiple powers, and that made Todoroki feel like just a regular character again, because everyone else kind of figured out ways to utilize their powers in multiple ways, which kind of also made all of them feel like they have multiple powers, even though it is just one power, but they're using it in multiple different ways, and so it feels like more than one power, and so none of them were special or unique in their own way anyway. After all, I don't know, I feel like everyone just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger, even though they didn't have don't have the training for it, and there wasn't any really need for it. I don't really know what could have fixed this. I probably would have to rewrite everything from the ground up if I wanted to kind of figure out what the root issue for this was. But for the most part, that's the thing that annoyed me the most, was the fact that they were sending literal children out to deal with global terrorism and stuff like that. Like, who in their right minds? No one. No one in their right minds. Because who thinks about that? Who thinks, like, you know what, we should send a whole bunch of 15-year-olds to deal with this global terrorism? Like, every single act of violence, it's like, send out the children. The children yearn for war. TLDR, I would fix it by making everyone less powerful and using logic. Thank you for watching. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't care. I do not care about your thoughts and opinions, because this is my thoughts and opinions. If that's really mean, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't mind to hear your thoughts and opinions, just don't argue with me. because I really don't care. I don't have the time to argue because I obviously am so already in my feels that no matter what you say, it will not change my mind. That being said, I would like to hear, I guess, if you agree with me about the fact that they're sending children out to deal with global terrorism. I know that they never do it on purpose, but like it happens so many times that it's starting to feel kind of on purpose. So I would like to hear if this is also an issue that you guys deal with, or if I'm just kind of crazy. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're still here, I love you. You're the bestest, and I will see you all next time. So, bye.